Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here today as we are rolling on down the road. I think right now we're on the road to WrestleMania 41. Nothing really has come up as of late. Southwest still not letting me book the flights. But I can honestly tell you that besides for the announcement of WrestleMania coming to Las Vegas and then getting a hotel, and booking the reservation for me and my friends, and then the pizza's falling into place. As far as wrestling comes, I think the first heartbeat on the meter where it's like beep beep is coming to life here. I will honestly tell you that I had no clue that Money in the Bank 2024 is going to be coming to you on Saturday. July 6th, 2 days after the 4th of July. I am going to be in Florida. I actually fly out Friday. So I don't really have a plan in place to see when I will be watching Money in the Bank, if I'll be watching it live, if I will be watching it later and trying to avoid spoilers. But Money in the Bank is always one of the pay-per-views to me that is must-see. I put it right up there with the Royal Rumble. The Money in the Bank, it sort of breathes life into the summer months for WWE because, somebody's getting that briefcase and they have a chance to become WWE champion on every edition of Raw, SmackDown, a pay-per-view, a house show. It hasn't happened, but someday, there's got to be a shot that it might. But it sort of gives you a reason to make must-see TV be must-see TV. The Bloodline ceremony, where they basically murdered Paul Heyman on the outside, putting him through the table with the big power bomb. Badass. I honestly thought that was way cool. The Bloodline, the new Bloodline, I'm not sure if that's what they're going to be calling it. They got a tag match coming up for Money in the Bank. Normally, these I don't even know if it's a 6-man tag, if it's an 8-man tag. I think they're setting the table for us to be thinking a Roman Reigns return is coming. But I honestly think you got to put more fuel on the fire. You got to get the Bloodline red hot by the time that you get to see Roman Reigns. I honestly think that whether this is a 6, a 7, or an 8-man tag, I don't think we're going to see Roman, and I think the Bloodline are basically going to kill Cody, Orton, and Kevin Owens. I don't really see this going any other way. You got Solo Sikoa. I didn't really see him as a future main eventer when he came in and he debuted with the Bloodline. Of course, he was running around at that time with the United States Championship, or is it the North American? It was in when he was in NXT. They kind of brought him up, and it was almost like NXT was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going to take him." I don't think he ever lost the championship. He just sort of showed up, and then when he was on with the Bloodline, he was just kind of in the background. People were thinking that maybe The Rock had sent him, that he had a different meaning for being there. Maybe he was trying to figure out what the Bloodline's plans were, and he was reporting back to somebody else. I bought his rookies like crazy. I didn't care if they were graded, ungraded. Every show, every card shop I went to that had solo singles, I picked those suckers up and I stashed those things away. I wasn't really sure that he was going to be a main eventer, but as of right now, they just put the necklace on the man, basically saying that he is the new tribal chief of the Bloodline. You gotta have that guy main event ready, and I'm not talking like a Bloodline main event tag match or a Survivor Series or something like that. I think you got to have that guy singles ready for main event. I think he's getting the push of a lifetime. Championship, no championship. I think that guy basically set in stone. I haven't seen a guy like this basically get made in WWE since Wade Barrett. And I know, honestly, people are going to throw stones at that, basically saying that Wade Barrett didn't ever turn out to be what we thought he was going to be when he was the original leader of the Nexus. I think WWE / even John Cena screwed that up. I mean, definitely the Nexus should have won at SummerSlam. Definitely Wade Barrett should have won the championship at, I believe, at the Survivor Series when Cena was the guest ref. I don't know. Hopefully WWE is going to learn on how to make a new star and get them settled in. Of course, anything can happen with these guys, but I don't know. Honestly, when Cody got the win at the last pay-per-view, and he was greeted by Solo at the stage, kind of like cheering him on, and then they jumped him, I honestly thought that they were going to push Solo in a one-on-one match with Cody at that point. I didn't really see this tag match coming. I can definitely see how some people think that it's not a championship match for the WWE title. It's just like the six-man tag, or I think it quite possibly could be an 8. But then again, Jey Uso is in the men's Money in the Bank. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy wins the Money in the Bank. I mean, I don't see anybody else in the men's match set up to be that guy, and you're telling me that you basically get him with a white briefcase and he have like the spray painted heat on the side. Then they're not going to be selling those things like wildfire at like your WWE shops, at your shop zones, and like basically when they set up in Cleveland for SummerSlam with the superstores. They keep that Money in the Bank briefcase on that guy. The longer they are, they're just going to be pumping out, selling those briefcases like bananas. But, that's a match, honestly, we're going to have to touch on a little bit later. But the Bloodline right now, man, these guys look badass. Solo Sikoa, you got Tama Tonga, you got Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, the new guy in there, honestly, this guy didn't miss a beat. I had heard his name out there from MLW. He did a lot of like the West Coast shows that people talked about here. I think he's going to be a big name in WWE for a long time. I'm honestly surprised that we got to see Tonga Loa come back. But the run that they had over in New Japan with his brother Tama Tonga, and Tama getting to wrestle a lot more singles. I thought, honestly, when they brought him in, especially when Tonga Loa showed up, I was like, oh, they're just gonna put the guys out there and they're just gonna run the tag division. No, I've seen Tama Tonga wrestle in singles more than I've seen him do anything else as of right now. So we'll have to see what goes down. But this match, honestly, right here, I think it's just gonna be a murder scene. That's the only way that I can see it going down. I don't think that you're going to have Roman Reigns coming to save Cody, Orton, and Kevin Owens. I think that the baby faces are just going to get cut off at the knees, and it's all heels right there. You got to make these guys strong, set up for something, Survivor Series with War Games if you're going to run that back. War Games, that could possibly be a time that you bring Roman back. It's in a 4-on-4 deal, so you're not giving away the money match of 1-on-1. Maybe you have a stipulation where Roman gets to have a match against Solo 1-on-1 if his teams win. Of course, maybe you can even set up your Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns reunite. Them having a reunion out there. I think that the money's out there, and as a wrestling fan, I can honestly say that I'm excited that this is the first time that I've been like, oh damn, this is coming up. I got to make sure I see this. With the wrestling, the last few years, it's been few and far in between. If they can get on a run, definitely, with Cleveland. Having a Survivor Series, I apologize, Cleveland having SummerSlam coming up the following month. That should be a fun show. Definitely, I think Logan Paul is going to be getting a really big match. Might not be a championship match with him being the United States champ, but definitely I think they're going to want to build something big for him, which I think is going to be huge. And, I keep thinking WrestleMania is a year away because it falls in the next calendar year. But, once we hit SummerSlam, we're basically halfway there. And, I really want to go to WrestleMania to hang out with my friends. If it's going to be, that one last run that we have before the band, hangs it up and says no more, I'm all for it. But, I mean, if we're going to throw down money on WrestleMania, those tickets aren't going to be cheap, and especially when you're talking about Monday Night Raw seats, if we don't, hit on the regular sale and we have to hit a secondary site, those tickets possibly could be a good ticket as well. If we're going to throw all this money in the pot to buy these tickets, we might as well, go down swinging with a show that we can, hang up, a poster on the wall when we get home, be like, yeah, WrestleMania 41 in Vegas, that was us. We were there. That's honestly what I'm looking forward to. And this match, even though I think it's going to be a crime scene, there's just a whole bunch of blood on the ground, with the baby faces, getting their ass kicked, I'm excited for it. We'll have to see what goes down. Peace out, everybody.